We've got an excellent AFC South matchup as CJ Stroud and the Texans fly to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Texans Jags Week 3 matchup and provide our predictions at the very end of the video. Be sure to leave a comment, let us know who you think is going to win and why, and hit that subscribe button, get notified when new videos come out. Now, Ryan, we're recording this right after the Monday night game where the Texans barely lost to the Buccaneers. So they had it. They had opportunities, I think, kind of all throughout the game as well. But we'll talk a little bit about some of our concerns. But they're going to be going up against the Jags, who also had opportunities to go 2-0, but unfortunately lost to the Cincinnati Bengals here in their Week 2 matchup. So Ryan, I want to throw it over to you here now. Like when you look at Houston and kind of coming off this game here, I'm a little concerned with this offense just as a whole. Tampa Bay does have a good front seven, yes, but
Yeah.
they it's can seem a little discombobulated. It seems like it provides some pressure,
Yeah.
putting CJ Stroud under a lot of stress here as well. And they are dealing with injuries. To be fully fair to them, and they're dealing with injuries with some of their star players and skill position players here as well too. So, but what do you think some of the fixes are? And then at the same time here too, what do you think of Jacksonville, especially too after they narrowly lost to the Bengals with a backup quarterback?
Yeah. So starting off with the Texans, I think one, Nick Caley, first year offensive coordinator, you're going to have some struggles there, just what to do in specific scenarios and managing the offense, implementing your program. He just has never done it before. He's seen it been done, but it's different when you're the one doing it. And then also too, on the flip side of that, they have a bunch of new offensive linemen. They moved on from Laramie Tunsil, Shaq Mason, and Ariante Ursery is starting. So they have multiple things going on with that offense that I think are causing it to stymie. And that is one, some of that can only be overcome with time. Like that offensive line, as they play together, they're going to know how people react in each situation. They're going to continue to improve. They're going to get a better understanding of the calls and adjustments that are made at the line of scrimmage. And that is just something that can really only be improved with time. The other thing is just this run game is not being very good. Nick Chubb he's their leading rusher, and he only has 64 yards, I believe, on the season so far. And that's just, they're just not getting a good push. It doesn't help they face the Rams and the Bucks in weeks 1 and 2, which are two of the top run defenses in the league right now. So that in and of itself is not helping. But all in all, I think they have the quarterback. I think they have the wide receiver. Nick Chubb looks pretty good given his injury history. They're just kind of waiting for this offensive line to come together on that side of the ball. Defensively, they get after the passer really well, but they do struggle. And granted, Bucky Irving, Rashad White is one of the top running back tandems in the league, but they do struggle stopping the run at times. But defensively, I think that's not really their big problem right now. And then Jacksonville, I've actually been very impressed with Jacksonville. One of the things that I think is interesting is Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter are their 4th and 5th receivers in terms of yards so far this season through a couple weeks. Diami Brown is the leading receiver. Brenton Strange is 2nd, and then Parker Washington is actually 3rd. And so they have collected a very solid group of playmakers there. Travis Etienne is looking really solid. They did just trade away Tank Bigsby, but Travis Etienne looking solid at that running back position. Trevor Lawrence, this has been probably his best start to a season so far in his career. So I think that this is an offense that is coming together under Liam Cohen. This offensive line looks better. And defensively, they still have talented pass rushers. They struggle a little bit on the back end, and I think Travis Hunter is helping with that situationally. But I still think that is the big weakness of this team. And so for me, the big matchup in this game is going to be the defensive line for the Jaguars versus the offensive line of the Texans. Because if the Texans can win that battle, I think that's going to be a good sign for them, and I think that they could end up coming out ahead. But if they struggle at that point, I think that this Jacksonville offense has proven through 2 weeks that they're going to get their shots in. And if they let Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen really pin their ears back and get after CJ Stroud, I think that is how the Texans lose this game.
Yeah, no, and I think the addition of Bicol Tootin, I'm curious now, especially now that they moved on from Tank Bixby,
Mhm.
that what that's going to do for this overall running game, because he adds another, I think, layer of dynamic that Tank Bixby doesn't have overall, even too with his receiving touchdown against the Bengals here, and in the game here as well too. So I think he's going to be a very fun overall dynamic to this team. And I think on the flip side too is you're talking about the Texans offensive line versus the Jags defensive line, isn't vice versa. How's this Jags offensive line going to do going up against this front seven of the Houston Texans? I think that's going to
Yeah.
be a good matchup as well. I could see this being just a low scoring game, something similar to what we just saw tonight, where you do have these two offenses that are good, but the Bucks offensive line is much better than what they're playing with right now. They're just dealing with some injuries, and the Texans were able to take advantage of that and get in the backfield. Unfortunately, they Bucks were still able to get a lot of rushing yards against them. But I think the thing also too, as well, is can the Jags offensive line do something similar to what the Bucks were able to do tonight? Is still get a lot of rushing yards going up against this Texas defensive front. I think that'll free things up for them in the passing game, and you might, I think, you make it maybe a decent argument as of right now. Just the Jags receiving room is just healthier and better right now than the Texas receiving room. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't been playing. They had several key drops in this week two game that probably could have made the difference. Travis Hunter is still, I think, working his way in, but then you still have Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown as well too. Got a decent tight end and Brent Strange as well. And if they're able to open things up in the running game, I think that's going to help out a lot in this passing game as well too, to be more dynamic against a good Texas secondary. A key name to watch too as well, just on the injury list, Jalen Petrie. He left the game tonight for the Texans. So what's his status going to be? That'll be a big loss on the back end of that defense. But I think kind of getting into predictions here for me, this one could go either way. I think I'm going to go with the team though, whose offense as of right now is looking more explosive and actually able to put points up on the board. The I think I saw the stat that I guess now with Nick Chubb's touchdown, they've only had two touchdown drives in the I think 18 or 20 drives so far that the Texans have had this season, and that's a little concerning overall.
Yeah.
Considering like the expected firepower on this team. And so I think the Jags are going to win this one. But it's an AFC South division matchup. This is a big game overall too. Both teams are looking to stay in touch with the Colts as of right now. As the Colts, in theory, should win their Week 3 matchup. And so very possible they go to 3-0. The Jags win, they go to 2-1, and still have good momentum as well. As will be a sixth of the way through the season.
Yeah. No, I'm also going to go with the Jags. I just think right now they're the better team. I think you look at the offensive numbers, and Houston is just not stacking up on that side of the ball for, like you said, the talent they have. And in Jacksonville, this is the most confidence I've had in Trevor Lawrence through the first 2 weeks of a season. I feel like every year he's been a little shaky
Mm-hmm.
to kind of start things off, and this is definitely the best set of weapons that he's had in his career. And I still do have some faith in this Jags defense with those pass rushers to get after the passer, and maybe not. They're not going to be a top 10 defense just because they don't have the back end for that. But can they make enough plays to
Mm-hmm.
steal steal a few possessions away from the Texans, and at the very least stall out some drives with a sack. So I think that's going to be very big in this game, and I think it's going to come down to the wire again, just like they're both of these teams week two's games did. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a big AFC South matchup. So
Yep, I agree.
let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Houston Texans? Will it be the Jacksonville Jaguars? And that we'll see you guys next time.